Hello, I'm Philip Brunelle, Artistic Director and founder of Vocal Lessons and organist choirmaster at Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis. So each day, I have selected a composer who has had a role to play with both organizations. Today, it's the composer from Argentina, Alberto Ginastera, born in 1916, died in 1983. He was definitely one of the great voices to come out of not just Argentina, but South America. His parents, one was Catalan, the other was Italian. He was born in Buenos Aires and later studied in the United States at Tanglewood with Aaron Copland, but then returned to Buenos Aires. There were three periods, he said, of his music. The first one he called objective nationalism. This was the period in which he would use Argentine folk themes to make that kind of music. The second one was called subjective nationalism, and his third period was neo-expression. So in that first period, he wrote a set of piano pieces. They were called Argentine Dances. And just to give you a little idea, this first dance, thinking in themes of the gauchos in Argentina. So here's a piece, the left hand, only flats, black keys, the right hand, only the white keys. So you have this. And more of that. So there's these wonderful dances. They're great. So I knew about him. I think the first piece of his that I knew was a piece called Lamentations of the Prophet Jeremiah. It's a tough piece to sing, but it's a great piece. Choirs do love it. We've done it here at Plymouth Church and also with Vocal Lessons. And the opening of the Lamentations, the women it's divided first soprano, first alto, second alto, and they're going with these cries, while the men sing in Latin the text, "O ye who travel upon the highway, hearken to me." And so they're going. And so you have this, when you put it together, so you see they're very strong, but the text is strong. And it ends that way in that first movement because it comes back to the way it opened and it goes. I had the pleasure in the 1970s of meeting Ginastera. He came to Minneapolis. There was a concert of his music at the Walker Art Center, which I conducted because it included a piece of his that was a wonderful work for soprano, you love this, soprano and 53 percussion instruments. So the old Walker stage, there it was set up with 10 players, 53 instruments, and Barbara Brandt was the soprano. And I chose Barbara because, first of all, she was a great personage on stage. She also had a big voice, which you'd better have. And it's a piece called Cantata para America Magica, Magical America. He took words from early people, the native folk who lived in Argentina. And you can just imagine, if you have a chance sometime ever that this piece comes back, don't miss it. It was a very atmospheric and wonderful experience. So after the concert was over, I still remember that, well, the other thing I remember is that he was sitting in the audience and I hadn't met him. So he started, I looked at him and said something, is that tempo okay? And he responded in French because he didn't speak English. So then I, of course, responded in French. And after it was over, one of the percussionists said, that was very impressive. And I said, well, I did my best. And he, Ginastera, was a great man. He moved then, he was in New York. He was known for his operas. He wrote 3 bombastic, big operas, and was certainly, and still is regarded as one of the great figures in Argentina and in South America. He also wrote several pieces for organ. Back in 1947, a piece called Takata, Viancico, and Fugue. And that piece, which I remember having played, that in 1980, when the American Guild of Organists had their national convention here, and they were going to commission 4 or 5 composers, I said, commission Ginastera. He's a great composer. So they did. And he wrote a new, big, very difficult piece, which Marilyn Mason then premiered. But I'd like to close by thinking about Ginastera with the Takata that he composed in 1947. Music of Alberto Ginastera. Have a wonderful day.